Thanks for joining me once again on an episode of The Fool's Journey by the Third Eye of Providence. Your support is really appreciated, and I cannot thank you all enough for hitting the like button and all of the people who have been subscribing. I hope this content is serving you, and if this is the first time you're tuning in, you should know that there are several episodes previous to this that we started on January 1st of 2021 and have day by day taken a step through the tarot, starting with the Fool, and this episode brings us to the Hanged Man. This is card number 12 in the tarot, episode number 13. So I have the Hanson Roberts Tarot and the Twin Tarot to compare. Then we're going to get into as well the Complete Book of Tarot, A Comprehensive Guide by Anthony Lewis. So let me show you what the Hanged Man looks like in the book, so you can get an idea of the symbolism of this card. Now it says, the Hanged Man is adopting a fresh perspective. This person is also known as the Traitor. Now, the Hanged Man is associated with the water element, and that would be connected to any of the water signs. Particularly, we think of Pisces when this card comes in a reading, because it is connected to Neptune in a lot of modern decks. Now, the myths and the archetype connected to the card of the Hanged Man are often associated with Buddha, Jesus, Odin, very heavily. You will see that imagery in a lot of decks. This is also known as the martyr, the sacrificial lamb, the Benedict Arnold, or the traitor. Now, keywords associated with the Hanged Man in the upright position when it appears in a reading are sacrifice for the greater good, a state of suspension, waiting, definitely see waiting a lot with this card, surrender, devotion, altruism, for sure, serenity, faith, visionary thinking. Yes, what I would like to point out is that the blood is rushing to this man's head purposely. So this is going with the flow, release, letting go, feeling like you're on pause, redemption through a sacrifice, adopting a unique perspective, doing something out of the ordinary, a spiritual viewpoint, and loving kindness, compassion, and evenly suspended attention. For sure. In the reverse, the negative polarity of this card would represent selfishness, egotism, betrayal, stagnation. Very much we see stagnation when the Hanged Man is in reversed. This is talking about delays, self-pity, reversal, clinging, rigid thinking, self-deception, treason, playing a victim, martyrdom, helplessness, disillusionment, being hung up, and conformity. So, going back through traditions of the tarot, in 1888, the Mathers deck, this card would represent self-sacrifice, devotion, and a binding, or a bond. In the reverse, it would represent selfishness, partial sacrifice, and being unbound. In the Rider-Waite, when you see this card, this is going to represent wisdom, discernment, trials, intuition, divination, and prophecy. In the reverse, it would represent selfishness, the crowd, and the body politic. In the Order of the Golden Dawn, when the Hanged Man appears in a reading, it talks about involuntary sacrifice, suffering, loss, and punishment. When we're reading this card upright, it says, the Hanged Man looks like an image reflected in the surface of a body of water, suggesting that what we perceive with our senses is but a reflection of a deeper reality. To understand what is really real, we may need to adopt a new perspective. If your life feels like it's on hold or it's in a state of suspension, it's time to adopt a spiritual perspective and pursue the greater good. We sometimes need to make sacrifices and let go of something we value to achieve a greater good. In any case, when the Hanged Man appears in a reading, you are likely to be viewing or doing something out of the ordinary in a way that sets you apart from the more accepted approach of those around you. In the reverse, or a negative aspect of this card when it appears in a reading, it suggests that you might be clinging too tightly to an illusion, preventing you from gaining a clearer perspective. Refusal to make a necessary sacrifice can result in further loss and suffering. Playing the martyr will not be productive. In Italy, hanging someone upside down was a punishment reserved for traitors. After betraying the last Aztec emperor, the Spanish conquistador Cortes killed the Aztec warrior by hanging him upside down in a Christ-like pose, as is vividly depicted in the mural by Diego Rivera entitled Exploitation of Mexico by Spanish Conquistadors. Okay, so the Hanged Man. This card, when it shows up in a reading, typically what I'm going to suggest to the person in the reading is that this is about needing to shift your thinking or your way of viewing a situation. So what you need to know about the symbolism in this card is typically you'll always see the Hanged Man being strung upside down from a tree. And the positioning of the leg is important, that there is one free leg and one is bound, because it kind of suggests that he's put himself here purposely. He's not fully tied to the situation. It's serving a purpose for him. Now, the purpose is that he's getting a different perspective. He is allowing all of the blood to rush to his head so he can get this divine inspiration, right? He's waiting and pausing and allowing spirit to give the answer. And you'll see again here, this is a lot more symbolic. So you'll see in this card, same thing. One leg is bound, the other is free. Even the hands are free in this particular card. And he looks delighted. There is inspiration coming to him, and it is big downloads from spirit. Divine, for sure. So interesting. And now in the opposite, you'll see in the negative polarity, the difference with this is that what I will like to point out is that this man is high up in the tree, and this man is closer to the ground, right? So he's struggling. He wants to be free of this. The tree is barren. His pocket coins are falling all out. His face is very tormented. He's not here willingly, and he's unable to accept the sacrifices that need to be made. He's not receiving anything in return. So, of course, this is again about being in stagnation and not being able to see the greater good or the greater purpose for this situation. So hopefully this was enlightening to you and you got some insights on how to read the Hanged Man. If there's some symbolism that I didn't pick up on and you want to leave a comment, that's super appreciated. And make sure to stay tuned for the next episode. Like I said, if you haven't gone back, you can hit the subscribe button to get notifications every week when I share, every day when I share a new video. Or you can hit the save button to the playlist and it'll download all of the videos to your library and you can watch them at your own pace. So thank you for your support and have a great day.